Hey, what's up, everybody? Hey, everybody, how are you guys doing? Bernard King here for MyGridironFace. This is the live stream for week 10 of the 2025 college football season. So, happy Halloween to you guys. You know, I know it's November 1st, but you know, the fact that Halloween fell on Friday, so still a lot of, Halloween festivities and things of that nature going on. So, Halloween on a Friday. Some people had to work. Some parties got postponed or basically got held on November 1st. So, still some Halloween things going on. My co-host D Lump could not be here this week. So, he had a Halloween engagement already set up and things of that nature. So, just me just doing a solo act tonight. But at any rate, happy Halloween to you guys. And I can tell you guys right now, man, believe it or not, it's been some spooky, type of games, man. There's some spooky type upsets going on. Some fans got tricked, some fans got a treat, and, we're going to go ahead and go forward with this whole thing. So, like I said, on Tuesday, and I'll repeat this later, maybe like once or twice during this live stream, on Tuesday, November 4th, ESPN is going to be unveiling their college football top 12 playoff picture. So the initial or the first announcement will happen on Tuesday, November 4th. I think it's at 7:30 if I'm not mistaken. Don't get me wrong on that, but it is on Tuesday. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and look this up right now as we speak. Hold on. I'm sorry. Hold on, y'all. Hold on just a second. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and look at these scores real quick, too. Pull up the scores real quick, everybody. Go ahead and pull these scores up real quick. Here's all the scores right here. So I want to make sure. Let's see. Hold on. Hold on. Sorry. Okay, pause. Let me pause that real quick. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. Let me get back to my main screen, everybody. But yeah, let me go ahead and get my main screen. Also, let's see here. Like I said, it's a lot of upsets that have happened today. See, ESPN CFP show. Excuse me, ESPN CFP show. It will come out on. Bear with me for a second, everybody. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. It is college football. Okay. Airs on Sunday. Oh, afternoon. Eastern time. So it will air tomorrow. Hold on. I'm sorry. Hold on. Ranking show. Let's see. Hold on for a second, y'all. Let me do this real quick. I thought it was on Tuesday. Hold on for a second, y'all. Oh, my bad. All right, here it is right here. All right, it's coming on Tuesday, November 4th at 8 p.m. So let me go ahead and give you guys the date, the dates and everything of that nature. So it will air every Tuesday from November 4th to December 2nd, and then on that Sunday after championship weekend, the previous weekend, which is conference championship weekend, on Sunday it will air Sunday, December the 7th, to determine what final teams will be in the 12-team playoff. So on Tuesday, November 4th, it will be at 8 p.m. presented by Allstate, and this is according to ESPNPressroom.com. That's the first show. So on Tuesday, November the 11th, will be at 7 o'clock p.m. presented by Goodyear on November 11th. So November 4th at 8 p.m. presented by Allstate. On Tuesday, November the 11th. Oh, no. Let me repeat that again, just in case I'm wrong. On Tuesday, November 4th, it will come on at 8 o'clock p.m. Excuse me, presented by Allstate. Now, Tuesday, November the 11th will be 7 p.m. presented by Goodyear. Now, on Tuesday, November 18th, it will be at 8:30 p.m. presented by Verbo. On Tuesday, November 25th, it will be at 7 p.m. presented by Capital One. And on Tuesday, December 2nd, at 7 p.m. presented by AT&T. And on Sunday, December the 7th, it will be at noon presented by AT&T. So I I pretty much excuse me, bring those dates back up. But bear with me for a second, everybody. I'm gonna go ahead and get into these shows. Where's my stuff at? Oh, it's right here. All right. Schedule. Oh, my bad. Scores. Let me go to the scores real quick. So, it's relatively been an interesting week in college football. Of course, you know, Brian Kelly getting fired last Thursday. Scott Governor Jeff Landry wanted Scott Woodward, LSU director Scott Woodward, not have any selection process in selecting LSU's new coach. And by doing that, you know, LSU pretty much terminated Scott Woodward. So LSU, they don't have a school president, they don't have an athletic director, nor do they have a football head coach. So they got a quote unquote, I would say a triple whammy going on down there. I think LSU is probably the most interesting football program and the most interesting educational institution out there right now, without a school president and athletic director, and also excuse me, and also no football head coach. A legendary football program. I mean, Heisman Trophy winners like Joe Burrow, Jane Daniels, receivers like, you know, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Odell Beckham, pretty much Oscar Delpit, you know, those defensive backs that they have down there. So pretty much a story football program that's down there. Now, mind you, let me go ahead and say this too also. LSU has relatively had a run of national championship coaches too. You know, with Nick Saban, and then him going to Miami, going to Alabama, winning like 6 or 7 more. I forgot how many. I think like 5 or 6 more. And then after Nick Saban, Les Miles coming there, winning the national championship. Then with Les Miles leaving or getting fired, then Ed Orgeron coming in, winning a national championship with Joe Burrow, and, you know, Heisman Trophy, national championship. And then with Joe Burrow leaving, then Brian Kelly comes along, which everybody would thought would pretty much continue that tradition of winning national championships down at LSU. But he couldn't deliver, but he did produce a Heisman Trophy winner. That was Jaden Daniels. So, excuse me. At any rate, like I said, LSU still looking for a football head coach. But needless to say, let's go ahead and get to these scores real quick and go over some scenarios and situations, right? So, very interesting things that are going on in the college football sphere. Like I said, last night, I predicted on Thursday that Memphis would win that game against Rice. So, Memphis, they definitely got their energy. So, Memphis, you know, pretty much gonna get some bowl games or what have you coming along with this thing. Hold on for a second. Hold on. Let me look at, hold on, where's my, what in the heck? Okay. I must have got some things messed up. But, in like I said, Memphis definitely winning that game 38-14. Memphis definitely got the energy. Memphis, the American Conference 8-1. Conference 8-1. And they only won, they've only lost one game. And, you know, pretty much putting in work on Rice. Rice University. So, you know, Memphis definitely got the energy. Let's go ahead and go to the other scores and things of that nature. Now, USC, like I said, I think I might have predicted USC winning this game. I think I said this the other night. Yeah, USC being Nebraska. Excuse me, USC coming in, number 20 USC over Nebraska, 21-17. Jayton Miavia, just 135 yards passing. But guess what, though? He got 62 yards rushing and a touchdown. And also King Miller from USC with 129 yards rushing and a touchdown as well. USC with just 1 sack, but Nebraska with 3 sacks. And the score was 17 for Nebraska. Dilly Raiola, 91 yards passing, 1 touchdown. But Emmett Johnson from Nebraska, 165 yards rushing and a touchdown as well. Oh, my boy put in work on them boys, man. So, just in my opinion, I think Dilly Raiola, because Dilly Raiola had a chance. No, he was coming to Georgia. He was coming to Georgia But he flipped his commitment to Nebraska because his dad went there or something like that. And then, he played up on the Mark Rule. But at the same time, Dylan Raiola had a chance to get had a chance to play for a big time program. Man, can you imagine you was here, man? And not no disrespect to Gunnar Stockton. I think it would have been the battle between Dylan Raiola and Gunnar Stockton. I mean, we've been stacked at quarterback in Georgia, like seriously. But however, like I said, Nebraska losing to USC. USC definitely got the energy. USC in the Pac-10. USC, who they got next? I think USC. And also, not only that, let me go ahead and put this out there too. So it's not that many games left. So they have Northwestern, then Iowa, then Oregon, then UCLA. So pretty much just a true a test of their medal would be Oregon. But USC definitely got the energy. But moving on from that game. Now, upset. West Virginia beating the Houston Cougars. Yes, Houston. Now, Houston just came off a win for beating Texas A&M, which pretty much got them into the top 25. But Houston losing by a touchdown and a field goal to West Virginia, right? So check this out right here. Scotty Fox Jr., 157 yards passing, 1 touchdown for West Virginia. But D'Ore Hubbard, 108 yards rushing and a touchdown for West Virginia for the Mountaineers. Now Scotty Fox Jr. also had 2 touchdowns as well. And hold up, the crazy part is they beat Houston in Houston and the Mountaineers with 3 sacks. Now, the Houston Cougars, crazy part, Colin Wegman, 309 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Man, hey, you pretty much just kind of gave them the game on those interceptions. But guess what? Amari Thomas for the Houston Cougars, 99 yards receiving, 3 touchdowns. And Tanner Kazial with the touchdown as well. And the Mountaineers definitely got the energy. And Houston had only lost one game all year until they played the Mountaineers. They lose 2 games. But the Mountaineers definitely got the energy. And the crazy part is the Mountaineers actually had a losing record, man. So it's another thing about it. So like I say, this is just one of the upsets that have relatively happened. There's another upset on the horizon, which is Utah and Arizona State. It's Utah and Arizona. I think it's Utah. No, my bad. Cincinnati and Utah. So Utah putting the whoop stick on them boys right now, 24-7. Utah, lower ranked team. Utah being number 24, Cincinnati being number 17. But I'll get to that game later. They're still playing that game, and this is 12:05 right now. So I think they're out west. I think it's 2 or 3 hours behind, so they're still playing. It's only halftime right now anyway. But that's not the big thing. The big thing is the top 10 teams. Like I said, I'm going to get all this stuff in a minute. I'm going to try to go ahead and run through this whole thing. Michigan beating Purdue, of course, Michigan, pretty much easy work to do. Just a weedy pool team. No disrespect to Purdue Boilermakers. They're a good basketball school. Shout out to my man, they done too. But anyway, Louisville over Virginia Tech. Now, Louisville, pretty much, Louisville, number 16, hey, by the fact that Miami losing, Vanderbilt losing, and Miami, Vanderbilt, Georgia Tech. Yeah, by those 3 schools losing, I can see the Cardinals, Louisville coming into cracking the top 12 picture for right now. But anyway, for this game, Miller Moss, number 7, Miller Moss, 136 yards. Passing, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. But guess what? Isaac Brown for the Cardinals, 130 yards rushing, 1 touchdown. And Keywan Brown, 94 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns as well. Also, Colin Lacey with a touchdown for the Cardinals. And also, no sacks. The crazy part is Virginia Tech with 1 sack. And with Kyron Jones, check this out. Kyron Jones, 76 yards and 1 touchdown. And Kyron Jones with the rushing touchdown as well, with 85 yards rushing. Pretty much, that was pretty much all I can say about Virginia Tech. But Louisville, they definitely got their energy. Now, moving on to Virginia, they definitely got their energy. Virginia and California. Is it Virginia and California? I'm sorry, I don't have my glasses on me, my contacts. Yeah, Virginia over California. Virginia number 15. Hey, they could wind up in that top. They can wind up in the top 12. Well, y'all BSing. So Virginia putting in work today, and Virginia with Georgia Tech losing. So Georgia Tech losing to NC State, and Virginia has a better record in the ACC, so they can catapult them into the ACC championship. But let me go ahead and just go on with these stats. Chandler Morris, 262 yards passing, but no touchdowns. But guess what, y'all? Jamari Taylor, excuse me, 105 yards rushing with 2 touchdowns, and also Eli Wood with the touchdown. With the touchdown as well. So Virginia Tech putting in work with 3 sacks for Virginia Tech. California, 2 sacks. Jaron Kiwe Sagaputele. I don't know how you pronounce this dude's last name. All I know is that Jaron from California, 213 yards passing, 2 interceptions. Oh, okay. You know what? I think we're gonna have to pull you, boy. Mason Meany comes in, throws for 42 yards and a touchdown. And also Kendrick Raphael, 46 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns for Kendrick Raphael, and also a touchdown reception as well. But Virginia Tech definitely got that energy, beating California in California. Moving on. Okay, here we go. All right, now we get to the nitty-gritty, folks. No disrespect, no other teams. Now, moving on. All right, Oklahoma and Tennessee. I actually watched this game all the way through, too, as well. Hold on for a second, y'all. Hold on. Oh, sorry. All right, I'm back, everybody. I had to cough real quick. I think I'm coming up with something. I think I'm coming up on the weather. So, bear with me for a second, everybody. I'm a little on the weather. I had a sore throat, so that's why you see me coughing. I'll be taking throat salvages and things of that nature. So, just bear with me for a second. So I'm just kind of having some weather issues, or a little on the weather issues going on for right now. But I'm getting better though, so bear with me. But anyway, let's go ahead and move on to this Oklahoma and Tennessee game. Now, I said that Tennessee would win this game, but I was wrong. My bad. Oklahoma came in, put in a defensive presentation like clockwork. Joe Mateer, no touchdowns and 1 interception. I think it was on the deflected ball too, but he only had 159 yards passing. But guess what though? Xavier Robinson, okay, 115 yards rushing, 1 touchdown. John Mateer with 80 yards and a rushing touchdown as well. And also, pretty much, yeah. Oh, also, with the fumble recovery for a touchdown for Oklahoma. And Oklahoma with 4 sacks too. So, yeah, putting in work on Tennessee. Tennessee with 3 sacks from the defense. And also, Mike Matthews with a touchdown for Tennessee receiving. Braylon Staley with 2 touchdowns from Joey Aguilar. And no rushing touchdowns from Tennessee. And guess what? Joey Aguilar, 393 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Now, on this game right here, whoever won this game would be the team. I felt like whoever won this game, excuse me, whoever had won this game would be the team that would advance to the field of 12 in the college football playoff. So, the fact that Tennessee lost, Oklahoma won. Tennessee lost, Oklahoma winning. Pretty much Oklahoma was probably going to be a shoe. Well, not necessarily a shoe in, but they look good for right now. Sorry, y'all. Whew. Has some things going on here. Yeah, but the fact that Tennessee had lost and Oklahoma getting in, excuse me, the fact that Tennessee had lost and Oklahoma getting in, Oklahoma probably going to be in the field of 12. Now, Oklahoma, they still have a tough schedule coming up because guess what? After after this Tennessee win, guess what? Oklahoma got Alabama, Missouri, and then LSU. So those last 2 games between between Alabama and LSU, Alabama and Missouri, those are going to be determining factors right there. So they got Alabama and Missouri, so they got some tough games coming up. Now, a lot of teams are not out the woods yet, but speaking of out the woods, we get all those other games later. Coming up talking about out the woods, things of those nature. Moving on to Notre Dame. No, I'm sorry. Texas Tech and Kansas State. Yeah. So Texas Tech putting in work on Kansas State. Texas Tech winning, beating Kansas State 43-20. they putting in numbers like crazy work for Texas Tech. Texas Tech still coming off their loss from Houston, but Baron Morton, 249 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. But guess what? Jacoby Williams for Texas Tech, 135 yards rushing and a touchdown. And Cameron Dickey for Texas Tech, 68 yards rushing and a touchdown as well. But guess what, though? Caleb Douglas, 82 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns. And his partner, Terrence Carter Jr., with 81 yards and no touchdowns. And the Texas Tech, Raiders with 2 sacks. Kansas State with 2 sacks as well. And with Kansas State, Avery Johnson with 199 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Avery Johnson also with 2 touchdown runs as well. Gary Oakley with the touchdown from Kansas State. But Texas Tech, they definitely got their energy. Texas Tech pretty much, they got BYU next. So this is a battle of the battles. So BYU, so they do have BYU next. So Texas Tech, they do have some games that they got the big game coming up next week. Actually, that game's actually on November the 8th. So that's going to be a determining factor. When is November the 8th? November the 8th is, hold on for a second. I think, when is November the 8th? November the 8th is on, that's next Saturday. My bad. Yeah, actually, that game is next Saturday. Yep, November the 8th. So that game is on next Saturday. So they do have BYU coming up. So BYU and Texas Tech, that's pretty much going to, a primetime, Big 12 matchup. They have BYU. Oh, actually, they had BYU at home. So they probably would be a primetime game between BYU and Texas Tech. So giving you guys my prediction. Well, no, I won't do my predictions until next week. So because I'm a little pressed for time. But go ahead and move it on, everybody. We're gonna go ahead and move on up. Notre Dame, Notre Dame and Boise State. Hold on. Notre Dame. Hold on. I'm sorry. I don't have my. I can't see this right here. Notre Dame and number 12. Hold on. Number 12. Notre Dame and Boston College. Marcus Freeman being considered for a lot of jobs. Being considered for a lot of jobs, a lot of head coaching jobs. One at Penn State, one at LSU, and I think Florida had come up as well. So, excuse me, and Florida had come up as well. So Marcus Freeman's name is out. Marcus Freeman's name is out there for head coaching jobs, for head coaching opportunities. We'll see how that goes. But Notre Dame pretty much putting in work on them guys. Oh, excuse me, had to clear my throat. Notre Dame putting in work on Boston College. CJ Carr, pretty much 299 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, and also Jeremiah Love with 136 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns, putting in work on Boston College. Will Pauling, for Notre Dame, also with 73 yards receiving and a touchdown as well. And Notre Dame with 5 sacks. 5 sacks on Boston College. Well, just 10. I ain't gonna put all this stuff up there. Grayson James with one touchdown, 2 interceptions. You know what? I ain't gonna even go through all that. Notre Dame definitely got that energy. So Notre Dame, like I said, we're going to the playoffs in a field of 12. So Notre Dame, Navy, Pitt, Syracuse, Stanford, pretty much Notre Dame. Just in my opinion, I think Notre Dame wins out. Pretty much Notre Dame gonna be a playoff team. So depending on what they're gonna put them, they got a pretty easy schedule. I can see maybe like number 10, number 11 at the most. So I do see Notre Dame, winning on in, going on in, cruising on in the playoffs. But let's go ahead and move on up because we're going to get to the nitty-gritty stuff in a minute, right? Oh, excuse me. Now, Miami and SMU. Miami. Well, you know what? Excuse me. Let's go ahead and call these guys Liami. 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 Because of you coming back. Hold on. Because of you. Hold on. Oh. Because of you coming back is a lie. We gonna call them Liami. 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 Because of you coming back is a lie. They lying about you. Hey, let's go ahead and call them Miami. Number 10, listen, I picked them to win. Number 10, Miami. SMU beats Miami. Number 10, Miami pretty much out the playoffs. Carson Beck, again, played for Georgia. We could have told y'all not to take him, but y'all took him anyway. Carson Beck, interception throwing Carson Beck. I call him Carson Beck interceptions on deck. Okay? This man don't have like 8 interceptions in the last 2 games. I'm like, seriously. 274 yards for Carson Beck, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Mark Fletcher, 84 yards receiving. No, 85 yards rushing. Also, Jasisa. Jasisa Taylor. Hold on. Uh-oh. Just got worried, everybody. My bad. Let me pause here for a second. This is breaking news. I was going over the Miami and LSU SMU game, but this just in. The Dodgers beat the Blue Jays in Game 7 in the World Series. Dodgers win 2 straight World Series. This is the crazy part about it. Blue Jays had them up 4-2. How long? Had them up 4-2. Could have beat them. This is the crazy part. Could have won last night. Didn't win. Had them on the ropes tonight and still couldn't close out. This is what hurt the most. Beat them in Game 7, not in LA, but in Toronto. Not beat them in Game 7 in LA, but beat them in Game 7 in Toronto on their home turf. So the Dodgers are world champs again. I mean, all the money they spent on that, all the money they spent on that team, man. you better go get something about that. But the Dodgers are World Series champs again. The 2025 World Series champs. The Dodgers are the 2025 World Series champs of Major League Baseball. Congratulations to the Dodgers. They definitely got the energy. But let's go ahead and get back to actually they beat them in extra innings as well. So the game did go extra innings too. So just got on my iPad, my ESPN app, all that good stuff. But back to college. Yeah, we're gonna talk about Miami. Yeah, not Miami, but Miami. Jasisa Trader with 81 yards receiving and a touchdown. Now, also, the Hurricanes with 2 sacks, but guess what? SMU came back and went into overtime. So, Kevin Jennings, 365 yards, passing, 1 touchdown. Excuse me. TJ Harton with the touchdown rushing. Also, Yamir Knight with a touchdown reception as well and no sacks. Now, this is what's crazy about it. I didn't watch the game, but I did watch the highlights. The crazy part about it is, okay, what it is that I think the whistle it was a dead ball, whistle had blown, and I think the Miami player, this unnecessary roughness, personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the SMU quarterback. I think Kevin Jennings. Yeah, did unnecessary roughness. So pretty much he got flags thrown all day at him and everything right there, right? So what it was, they forced them. They were awarded a 15-yard penalty for that particular hit of unnecessary roughness. And what it was, they put SMU closer to, I guess, the field goal range. They wanted to score a touchdown, but they kicked the field goal, made the field goal. What it was, the game goes into overtime. Carson Beck, I mean, he throwing the ball. Threw it right. Listen, I'm a UGA man. I could have told y'all Carson Beck was going. I don't know if he's going to throw an interception like that, but Carson Beck threw an interception. No. After the field goal, the SMU kick forced the game into overtime. Carson Beck throws the game into overtime. No. They kick the field goal. The field goal forces an overtime. Miami gets the ball first. Carson Beck is throwing the ball trying to make a touchdown pass. I forgot who he's trying to throw the ball to. But SMU intercepts the ball, so therefore it's their turn, right? So it's their turn to get the ball. Now, SMU could have kicked the field goal, won the game, but guess what? They got a touchdown. Beat Miami, number 10 Miami. Miami has lost 3 games. Hold on, yeah. They lost, no, my bad, correction. They lost 2 games. So SMU has a 4-1 ACC record, and Miami has a 2-2 ACC record. So Miami, that puts them out the field of 12. They only have 9% of making the college football playoff. 9%. Yeah, y'all might well just go ahead and go to the, I'm gonna say, how can I say that? I would say the Pop Tots Bowl or the Quick Trip Bowl or, the JJ's Chicken and Fish Bowl. I don't know what bowl. I don't know what bowl they're going to. But anyway, y'all ain't playing no bowl. I mean, no. You playing in the bowl. In the bowl, you gonna get, hey, you listen, you mess that game up. Excuse me. You mess that game up so bad, you might just be going to the toilet bowl. Anyway, yeah, SMU definitely got the energy. SMU, look, they were unranked as well. So SMU, Boston College, Louisville, and then California. But anyway, moving on, folks. Yeah, I'm sick of that Miami type stuff. Miami type stuff. Moving on. Now, guess what? Texas beating Vanderbilt. Now, Vanderbilt, 71. Check this out. Excuse me. Vanderbilt, 71. They haven't been 71 since 1941. So, let's say 51, 61, 71, 81, 91, 2001, 2011, 2021. In 84 years, they haven't been 71 in 84 years. Go in, play Texas. Texas beat them. And they almost came back and beat Texas. But moving on, Eli Manning actually picked Vanderbilt beat Eli Manning, believe it or not. So this was crazy about it because he had a concussion, but he came back and came in like a soldier and won. Now, going on with the stats, right? Excuse me. Diego Pavia, 365 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Diego Pavia also with the rest of the touchdown as well. So pretty much Diego Pavia pretty much was his whole offense today. Now, Eli Stowers, okay, 146 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns for Vanderbilt. Junior Sherrill, 83 yards receiving, no touchdowns. But guess what? Richie Hoskins with 54 yards receiving and 1 touchdown. Now, the Commodores, no sacks. But guess what? Texas, them Longhorns, hooked them for 6 sacks. Diego Pavia was sacked 6 times today, right? Eli Manning, I'm sorry. Arch Manning, 328 yards, 3 touchdowns, okay? Quintrevon Weisner, 75 yards rushing, no, just 1 touchdown. Now, Ryan Wingo, Emmett Mosley, and C.J. Baxter all with the touchdown for the Longhorns. The Longhorns shook them. The Longhorns came in and hooked them today. Pretty much Steve Sarkisian calling the making the play calls, things of that nature. So Texas pretty much back in. They got Georgia in 2 weeks. That's gonna be an interesting game. Let's see how that game goes now. But Eli Manning, I think the first quarterback since, if I'm not mistaken, let's see, Major Applewhite, Cup McCoy, Quinn Ewers. I forgot. He was like the first quarterback since I think Quinn Ewers or something like that to ever have a 300-yard, 3-touchdown game. In first Texas quarterback, first Longhorns quarterback in a minute to have a 300-yard and 3-touchdown, 300-yard plus and 3-touchdown game. But Texas definitely got the energy. Like I say, hook them. So yeah, came in and hooked them. Vanderbilt lost 2 games in a row. So Vanderbilt, Tennessee, that's gonna be an interesting feat right there. I think Vanderbilt pretty much gonna drop out now. Well, they're not gonna drop, but they're not gonna drop out the rankings. So Vanderbilt would definitely have they're definitely going to be, put down a lot though. So I don't know how far they're going to drop. But moving on, let's go ahead and move on. The score things that's upset number 2. So upset number 1, Miami losing. Upset number 2, oh wow, Vanderbilt losing. Now upset number 3, Georgia Tech, NC State. Now Georgia Tech, hey, I thought Georgia Tech gonna be on the road, boy. Georgia Tech lose against NC State. NC State came in putting in work on them boys. Now Georgia Tech, Haynes King, 408 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. And also Haynes King with 103 yards, 2 touchdowns as well. So he got 2 passing touchdowns and 2 rushing touchdowns as well. Now, there's only one receiver on Georgia Tech. No. The receivers from Georgia Tech with the touchdown is Zion Taylor and J.T. Byrne with a touchdown from Haynes King, and they only got 1 sack. Now, NC State, 2 sacks, right? This is the crazy part. C.J. Bailey, 340 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. And Jaden Scott, 196 yards rushing, 1 touchdown. C.J. Bailey with the rushing touchdown. Will Wilson with the touchdown. So Cody Hardy with a touchdown. So 4 rushing touchdowns on the Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket, on the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, the Swarm. And against the Swarm, Teddy Hoffman with 74 yards receiving and a touchdown as well. And Cody Hardy with the touchdown as well from the NC State Wolfpack. And they got 2 sacks today. So NC State definitely got their energy. They're 5-4, 2-3 in the SEC, in the ACC. But Georgia Tech, they do have some games coming up, and of course, you know, they got Georgia last game of the season. But guess what? They got Boston College and Pitt. So by that time, when they play Georgia, by the time they play Georgia, they're pretty much going to. By the time they play Georgia, they probably it'd be like a one-loss game. But Georgia, well, I'll get to Georgia in a minute. But Georgia Tech losing by 12 points, i.e., 2 touchdowns or what have you. Taking 2 touchdowns to win the game. But Georgia Tech, hey, I'll be honest with you. This field of 12, this CFP, this college football playoff picture is going to be very interesting on the field of 12. But moving on, let's go ahead and move on up. Alabama idle. Ole Miss beating South Carolina. Pretty much Lane Kiffin. Like I said, again, Lane Kiffin, another hot name that's in the college football. Another hot name in the college football sphere, being considered for Florida. Well, a lot of schools are looking at him. Florida and LSU, so his name has come up, in the coaching carousel a lot too. But Ole Miss beat South Carolina 30 to 14. My bad, 30 to 14. Pretty much, Trinidad Chambliss, 159 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. But guess what? Keywan Lacey, 167 yards rushing and a touchdown, and also Trinidad Chambliss with a rushing touchdown as well. Also, Daquan Wright with a touchdown. And also, Ole Miss with 6 sacks today. Oh, yeah, definitely got that energy. So, Ole Miss got a couple more games that are coming up. But, Philadelphia, Florida, Mississippi State. So, pretty much, Florida played Georgia pretty tough today. I get that game in a minute. But Lenore Sellers with 108 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. And no sacks. But Ole Miss definitely got the energy, y'all. So, this SEC thing is pretty much getting wild. I think A&M, did Texas A&M play today? I don't think they did. I don't think Texas A&M didn't play today. No, they didn't play today. So, excuse me. Texas A&M, Alabama, LSU, all those teams are idle. So, next weekend, back on track. I think Alabama has LSU next weekend, but those 3 teams they were idle today. The SEC, those 3 teams were idle. Well, other teams were idle, but the teams that had top 10 rankings, those teams were idle, other than LSU. But moving on, Georgia and Florida. Now, I predicted Georgia would win this game, but I did say Florida would play us tough, and they did play us tough. Go Dogs, Florida, my team, but much respect to Florida. Yeah, I got my respect, though. But guess what? Gunnar Stockton, 223 yards, passing, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Chauncey Bowen, 70 yards rushing. 70 yards rushing and a touchdown. Most of that rushing came on that 4th down. In the 4th quarter, one for that touchdown. But Zachariah Branch with 120 yards receiving, no touchdown. Dylan Bell, Noah Thomas with a touchdown for Georgia today. And Georgia got no sacks. Florida with 2 sacks today. DJ Lagway, 166 yards passing, 1 touchdown. Jaden Ball with a touchdown, with a rushing touchdown as well for Florida. But guess what? Eugene Wilson III, 121 yards receiving and a touchdown. Georgia definitely got that energy. Georgia, I think it's Mississippi State, and then Texas in 2 weeks. They have Texas in 2 weeks, to Mississippi State next week, Charlotte, and then Georgia Tech. They pretty much got 2 games left. 2 big games left. No, Mississippi State, they gonna be a sneaky game. You gotta watch yourself on that one. But they have Mississippi State, and then Texas, then Charlotte, excuse me, and then Georgia Tech, actually on Black Friday. So Georgia's not out of the woods, but one thing I can say about Georgia, I'll put it to you just like this. I'm from Atlanta. I'm a Georgia boy. I'll be honest with you guys. Trying to beat Georgia, this is a joke, but it's a real deal, right? So, this is the crazy part, right? My head crooked. I think my head crooked. But anyway, I'm going to tell y'all something about Georgia, right? This Georgia Bulldogs team. This Georgia Bulldog team, it's like you trying to outrun the state trooper in Georgia. Now, if anybody from Atlanta or anybody from Georgia know about Georgia State Trooper, right? If you get into a high-speed car chase with Georgia State Georgia State Trooper or Georgia State Patrol, ask the GSP. That's what we call them. GSP, it is so hard to outrun GSP. Let me tell you something real quick. They will chase you at full speed on an empty tank. Listen, they will run out of gas, get out their car, and run after you. You might be gone to the next city over, next county, next state, or whatever. They still will chase you to the end. That's how it is when we play Georgia. Georgia, you have to, listen, when you play the Georgia Bulldogs, you have to play until 0. You don't, listen. If you beat Georgia by a touchdown or less, I'm letting you know right now, you have to play these guys to 0. I don't care what you say. You can be up by a touchdown with the ball in your hand. Georgia will, they will find a way. They will blitz you, sack you, find a way to intercept you, or strip the ball, or fumble. Listen, you play Georgia until 0. That's how you, and it's so hard to play Georgia. And Georgia, they're resilient. They're the toughest team that's out there. Georgia kind of remind me of the Falcons. I mean, nail biting, I don't know if they're going to win or not. The side is when you're playing Georgia. But Georgia definitely got that energy. That's my team. I think Georgia probably moves up well. I think they may just stay right there. I mean, Georgia might be number 5. Yeah, maybe number 5, number 4 team in the CFP football playoff. I'll get that in a second. But anyway, Georgia definitely got the energy. Moving on, everybody. Indiana and number 2 team in the country, Indiana and Maryland. Indiana came in putting in work. Coach Cignetti, excuse me, with their significant raise, 8 years. No, 9. Is it 9 years? No, 8 years, $93 million. Yeah, for Cignetti. Indiana undefeated. Indiana has relatively has a pretty favorable schedule too. So they got Penn State, Wisconsin, and Purdue. So Indiana with a pretty favorable schedule. I think the Hoosiers, they might be the number 1 team in the country right now, if you ask me, though. But Fernando Mendoza, 201 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Also, Alberto Mendoza, I don't know if they brothers. Are they brothers? Alberto Mendoza with the touchdown as well, with 20 yards passing. Kaylon Black, 110 yards rushing, 1 touchdown. Kaylon Black, Roman Hemby, Kobe Martin, and Fernando Mendoza also with the rushing touchdown as well. So, yeah, pretty much Indiana putting in work on them boys. Also with Omar Cooper and Jonathan Braley with 2 touchdowns, 2 touchdown receptions. Maryland, on the other hand, you know what? Malik Washington, 242 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. You know what? Indiana, the Hoosiers, they definitely got that energy. Now, this is the crazy part about it. Indiana has relatively been known for basketball. Bob Knight running undefeated, Isaiah Thomas, and all those people, and who played for Bob Knight, a legendary storied basketball program, not known for football, but hey, I was just throw football on there too. So Indiana definitely got some things going on up there. They definitely got the energy. It's like I said, they have a pretty favorable schedule too. Yeah, also Indiana has relatively pretty favorable schedule. But moving on up to the number 1 team in the country, Ohio State, and also Ohio State and bear with me for a second, guys. All right, I'm sticking at the Cincinnati and Utah game. Cincinnati trying to make a comeback, but the number 1 team in the country, Ohio State, Penn State. Penn State firing James Franklin. And they're in coaching transition, things of that nature. But Penn State, I forgot Drew Aller out for the season, so pretty much dealing with backup. So they're dealing with interim coaches and backup quarterbacks. So not much to report on that. But Ohio State, Julian Sagan, 316 yards passing, 4 touchdowns. Also, C.J. Donaldson with the rushing touchdown as well. Bo Jackson with 105 yards rushing, no touchdowns. Now, this is not the Bo Jackson that, Bo knows. No, not that Bo Jackson, but this is a different Bo Jackson. Guess what, though? Carnell Tate, 124 yards receiving. No, 124 yards receiving, 1 touchdown. Jeremiah Smith, 123 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns. Also with 4 sacks as well. So, Ohio State, Buckeyes, number 1 team in the country. That's pretty much the rundown for the top 25 teams for week 10 of the college football season. Now, moving on. So, excuse me. Like I said, and I do a short on this as well. The College Football Committee, the CFP, on Tuesday at 7 o'clock p.m. Oh, my bad. Let me run this by y'all. Let me run this by you guys again. If I still got it up here. Hold on for a second. I might have erased this thing, y'all. My bad. But on Tuesday, hold on. Let me pull this up real quick. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. CFP playoff show. CFP playoff show. Okay, hold on for a second, everybody. Let's see. Here it is right here. All right, here it is right here. My bad. I gotta pull this up. Now, on Tuesday, November 4th, okay, from 8 o'clock to 8:45, it's November 4th, 8 o'clock to 8:45 p.m., right? That's on Tuesday, November 4th. On Tuesday, November the 11th, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tuesday, November 18th, 8:30 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. On Tuesday, November 25th, 7 to 8 p.m. On Tuesday, November 2nd, 7 to 7:30. And Sunday, December the 7th, which relatively breaks down the college football playoff for the final selection, which basically selection Sunday, which is from 12 to 3 o'clock on Sunday, December the 7th. So I said all that to say this right here. I did a video short, right? When I did a video short Friday, yesterday rather, when I did the video short yesterday morning, I say these rankings are subject to change. Believe it or not, these rankings, they are subject to change. I thought Miami would win. I thought that, well, I wasn't too sure. Well, I had Vanderbilt winning, but I didn't know that Eli Manning was cleared to play. But I still had Vanderbilt winning. I had Georgia Tech winning. So all teams that I had winning, and I had Tennessee winning as well. Had Georgia winning. I said Florida would play us tough. I did say that. But all these teams who I thought would win ain't winning, is not winning, or didn't win. That's going to shape the picture up a whole lot. Notre Dame, I picked them to win as well. So, Ohio State, Indiana. So I picked those teams to win as well. But at any rate, a lot of shaking up is going on. I would not be surprised. I'm telling y'all right now. Ain't no team, other than Ohio State and Indiana, like I said, those teams right there, they're pretty much going to be, undefeated. Indiana ain't got nobody. They have a favorable schedule. Ohio State has a favorable schedule as well. No, actually, Ohio State has Michigan. That's gonna be interesting. That's gonna be an interesting game right there. So that game might be interesting right there. So Indiana's schedule looks pretty favorable. I think Indiana, just in my opinion, I think they'll make the number one team in the CFP right now. However, I don't know about nobody else, Lord. I don't know about nothing else, Lord, than that. And like I said, it's Halloween weekend. Well, it's actually November 2nd. It's a live stream. But yesterday was a spooky type scenario in college football. Some team, look, I got tricked, but I also got treated as well. So I think I got tricked more than I got treated. So trick or treat, give me something good to eat. Well, trick or treat. Some people teams got a defeat. But yeah, it was trick or treat stuff going on. Anyway, y'all, be on here tomorrow night, live streaming with D-Lump. Hopefully I have D-Lump back on here. So he'll be streaming again, everybody. See you guys soon. Y'all have a good one, and check out my shorts and things of that nature too. So recap on Monday. I'll be putting it up on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. So I'll be doing a video short on that as well. So see you guys.